Hello, strong people. It is week 6, technically training day 3, but program day number 4 on the week, so whatever you want to call it. It's my event day. And I'll be honest, motivation, low. Desire to be in here, low. Desire to take a nap, high. Yeah, I don't want to be in here tonight, but it is what it is. I wanted to work some overtime today, so I did that. I did like a 10-hour shift or whatever. It's easy work, honestly. Like, I don't work with my hands or anything. I sit behind a desk. But when you stare at a screen for 10 hours, your brain starts to go a little wonky. But I'm just ready to get this done with, pretty much. I know today it's I think it's frame or Denny stone. Sadly, I don't have Denny stones. I'll be honest, I'd rather do those than frame right now. Just because I don't want to set up the stupid frame. And I can't it's pitch black outside, so I can't do any moving events outside. And it's just not ideal, so we'll make things work in here. I don't know what I have to do exactly. It's still off-season programming stuff, so I don't have exact, distances or sets, reps for runs or anything like that. So it's whatever I'm feeling. And honestly, I'm feeling some pretty light stuff today. Especially because I went heavy last weekend on the farmers, the heaviest I've ever gone. So I'm happy with that still. And then because I am volunteering, tomorrow it's going to be, hours of volunteering, moving weights around. That stuff takes a toll on you. It's almost like an event day in itself. So I'm going to be plenty sore. I'm going to get a nice workout from that, honestly. So I'm definitely planning on taking it easy today. I don't know exactly what that means in terms of weights or anything, but we'll see. Let's just get into it, see what happens. So what you just saw was what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do like the standard march for a few seconds. Normally, I would just call it at that and not do the transition. But points, competitions can be won or lost based on how well you transition between events. Not all events have a transition. If it's just a straight up 50-foot run, don't have to worry about it in transition. But because this one is 50 feet down and 50 feet back, that transition from, setting it down going one way, turning your body around, regripping, picking, and then going, you could lose or gain 3 seconds on your time there, even more. And because historically speaking, I've lost, points here and there on slower transitions. And that was definitely the case last Saturday when I did that 350 pound per hand run. I honestly, I was a little bit worried that my grip wasn't, if I'm being 100% honest, I wasn't planning on doing the extra 50 feet. I was just going to do 50 feet down and call it there. But it felt good, and I wanted to make sure my grip was set for the second 50 feet. So I took that extra second, grabbed, set my hands the way I wanted them to, repicked. It was a slower repick. The first couple steps could have been faster for sure. And then made it the whole way down. So if I would have known that my grip was going to be able to handle that, I wouldn't have, been that slow in the transition. I would have tried my best to, drop it, quick turn, pick, go. But that's a heavy farmers for me, or at least it used to be. It's still a heavy farmers, but I was a little bit concerned about my grip not holding, so I took a little bit more time. And I think that's kind of a good thing to keep in mind. If it's a super light farmer's run for you, and your grip doesn't need to be perfect, then just don't. If it doesn't need to be perfect, then why bother? If you know you can do 50 feet down and 50 feet back without really thinking about it, and you just need to be fast, focus on speed. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. Because I don't need to go heavy, my program says not to go heavy, I'm going to focus on transitions, set my grip as quick as I can, because I'm still learning how to grab the farmers the correct way by twisting into them. So if I can get faster at that, then that's going to be a huge win. I can shave a few seconds off my time there, hopefully. And I know this set of farmers is not going to be crazy heavy for a lot of people, considering they're, some of the people at the show are pros. I don't know exactly how many, but obviously 350 per hand farmers for a pro isn't really that big of a deal. So I need to be quick in my transitions. I got to be able to pick up points where I can. And if that means, risking dropping the weight on the way back down for a quick transition, then that might be it. I'd rather really not do that. I probably wouldn't advise that. But if my grip feels as strong as it did last Saturday, then I think I can afford to do a quick repick, a quick transition, and not worry about how set my hands are. But time will tell as I do, get further into the prep, start the prep, get further into it. So I've rested more than long enough, so let's get back into this next set. So kind of an afterthought after I stopped that last video, after I stopped talking to the camera, and then before I did that set you just saw, I was thinking, and I've also noticed that I'm slow the first few steps of any sort of carry, like a farmer's or a yoke. It's those first 3 or 4 steps. I'm a little bit slow off the line. So I don't know. It's not something I've paid too much attention to. I know it's there, but it's kind of like a back of the mind type of thing. So what I decided to do before doing that last set was focus, rather than just doing a hold and march, focus more on, those first few steps, 3 or 4 steps, 5 steps, whatever it might be. And just focus on that. Don't worry about after that, because after that's not the problem. So if I can get those first few steps to be fast, I could save another second or 2 there. So, and then another thing, I caught myself being lackadaisical on those transitions, not rushing that transition. And that's what I'm meant to be practicing right now. So I'm a little bit frustrated at myself because I caught myself. If you watch that last clip back again, or you might have noticed the first time through, the first 3 transitions, or the first pick, whatever. The last transition was the fastest because I was like, oh my God, I'm training to be faster right now. Why am I not trying to be faster? So I need to make up for that set. I'm going to do at least 2 more. The weight's not heavy. I just want to work on that feel, the quick transition. And it's going to be different when I have, I don't even know what's on the bars right now. It doesn't matter. I know it's going to be somewhat different when there's 350 pounds in each hand. My idea of a quick transition might not be as quick as it is right now. But that's something to worry about later on whenever I actually get up to that weight. I need to be practicing these transitions every single session. Carrying the weight, from A to B is important, obviously. But whenever it's, 50 feet down and back, that transition is just as important. So I definitely need to wake up a little bit and actually do what I said I was going to do. All right, so I did my last set there, and that was probably the best set. Set 3. It was faster, but it was erratic because in my eyes, I still don't have the strongest grip. So I still need to make sure my hands are centered, the grip is set before I pick. And it's not overly noticeable because it's a very lightweight, but I'm still cognizant of it. Like I'm aware that, it's slightly off on one side or it's tilting one way or the other, and that ain't going to fly whenever I get to a comp weight. So although my third set was fastest, I don't think it was the best. The last set, I was a little bit more deliberate in where I put my hands, how I grabbed them. So I think that's better. I know this is a running joke in the strongman community that it's not called smart man, it's called strongman. And although that's true, of course, it is called strongman. It's the best athletes are very analytical. I mean, the ones that come to mind right now are Brian Shaw, obviously, plans out everything, very methodical in his approach. Mitchell Hooper, I mean, obviously, been in the sport less than, a year and a half now, something like that, something crazy. And his ability to adapt to new events is wild. And he does that, he's very, very smart. And he does that by analyzing his movement patterns, what he needs to do to improve, where he can pick up points. He's very smart about all of that. So that helps in every situation. In no situation does knowing how to pick up points hurt you. It just doesn't make any sense. Another couple that come to mind are Martins Licis, same way, knows where and when to pick up points, studies his events well, knows when to go, when not to go. And then if you look down lower, you look at I don't want to say lower in terms of, status, but lower in terms of weight class, like Andrew Clayton. I don't think I've ever seen anybody analyze strongman the way he does. He puts his, it's I don't want to say borderline too much because it worked for him, obviously. One of the, probably arguably the best 105 kg athlete ever. And also was a crazy heavyweight too. But it's just, he almost takes it to a whole new level. I've never seen that before. So to say that it's not smart man is an accurate statement, obviously. It's called strongman. But it doesn't help you to be dumb in the sport. It just doesn't. So being smart, knowing what you need to do to get faster on events, how to move more weight, how to be technically proficient, just what your body needs in order to win the show is obviously important. So to just walk in there and be like, oh, I'm just going to move it as fast as I can, or I'm going to lift the heaviest weight I can. Sure, those are all great things, but sometimes that's not always the goal. Sometimes it's to just beat the next guy. That was a lot of talking right there. I think I said something somewhat important in that rambling little monologue. So now I got to unload this, and I think I have sandbag loads. I'd like to load over the bar, but it is impossible for me to get the yoke out from where it is right now. So I'm just going to do as high of a load as I can. That should work. All right, well, I got my sandbag out. Had to fix my sideburns there. They're a little bit messed up. I got the sandbag out I wanted to use. That took longer than I'd like to admit. I don't think I've used that bag since 2022. I think, yeah. 2022, I think, is the last time I had that bag moved from that spot. That was not fun. If you've never done strongman, moving the equipment around and setting up is the worst part. It's awful. Especially when you have 6 implement medleys. Whose idea is that? That's not fun to train. You spend half an hour setting stuff up, train it for half an hour, and then another half hour to put everything away. You've wasted an hour and a half on one exercise. That's actually probably underselling it, under-exaggerating. Under-exaggerating? I don't know if that's a word, but you get my point. Let's do some sandbag loads. Well, that's disappointing. I recorded that last set there, and I recorded 1 second of it. So I must have stopped the recording like as I hit recording and didn't realize it. And I really wish I would have recorded that one, because I had a realization on there's a set I didn't record. And I had a realization that I've told myself this multiple times, and I haven't had a chance to really train it. When I pick things off the floor like that, like a stone or a sandbag, I use too much quad, way too much quad. And what I mean by that is my knees stay out in front of me too long. And I end up fighting against my own shins and knees to get the object lapped. So if I focus on my hamstrings and glutes a little bit more, which I did on that last set, and it felt better. I'd have to get used to it. I know it is better. I just need to adjust to it. So by clearing my legs out of the way, the object should have a path of less resistance to my lap. You don't want to be fighting against your own body whenever it comes to moving stuff, because then you're making the movement harder than it needs to be. So that's something I need to work on, because I know I have stones in this next show, and stones notoriously have cost me big points. A lot at this point. It's kind of sickening. I've lost like 3 shows because of stones. Arguably lost the Arnold bid because of stones. That hurts. So I need to really nail those. There's no slacking when it comes to stones this time around. Final event, and it needs to be much better than it has been. And I think I can do that by just picking the stone better, using more hamstrings, glutes, clearing out the legs. I got short arms, so I got to really get down there. It's just not ideal, but I know it can be better. I know for sure it can be better. So there was definitely a change in myself from the beginning of this workout to end. I did not feel motivated at first, but as I kept going, I thought of ways to work technical issues, transitions, without actually, getting too crazy and going off program. And off program, I mean by like heavy. So I'm happy with that. Plus the pre-workout kicked in fairly quickly, so that's awesome. Pretty awake now. But I got nothing else to say. I'm happy with tonight. Happy that I know there's things to work on. There always is. I can't say, happy to know that, because there's always something to work on. And tonight it just happened to be transition and basic movement patterns. So I'm happy with that. Happy with that. It's not always about just getting stronger. Sometimes a technical change will make you stronger. I can't say that. That's not completely accurate. It will make you move the weight more efficiently, which could lead you to moving more weight in general. The strength was already there. You just had to figure out how to use it right. Yeah, that's enough talking. I've talked a ton this video. I'm excited to go volunteer to show tomorrow. I hope I see some of my buddies break the Pennsylvania log record. Hopefully. I'm confident they'll do it. So, until next time, until Monday now, that's when I train next. Go out, get strong, stay strong. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.